Ooh. 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 There's something missing. Yes. It's Pinky. Because Pinky is 99.9% put back together. There's a couple of things missing. I forgot to put a hose cover on, but that's no problem, that's a 10-minute job. Tank's got to come off, and the throttle plate adjusted because there's only a couple of mil there, and I need to adjust it at the carb, and I just need to route some drain hoses, get some tyres on it, go for an MOT. I do believe the tyres are going to be happening in the next couple of weeks, so it's all back together, and hopefully it should run, he says. Sweet as a nut. Lovely. So that, turn that off, is your Pinky progress update. Pretty much 99% there. We're ready for its MOT. Right. Plans for the shed. This lot needs sorting out. I've got empty oil cans that I've got to go to the appropriate recycler. And where Mr. Sandblaster is, I've got a hole in the shed floor. So what I'm going to do is actually, at some point, hopefully before winter, get the bikes out, clear the floor, and I'm going to board it. I'm doing the hand thing. I'm going to board it. So that's it. Nibbler. Haven't used him since the oil incident, but he's all together. I'm waiting on some Zeus fasteners to put the belly pan on. I'm going to convert that to Zeus fasteners. But other than that, he's been in here a couple of days like this now, and no oil drips on the floor or anything like that. Although, nice. The bottom of this union looks wet, so maybe I've got something to say, but I can hear mine. Oh yeah, look, I've got to tighten that up a bit more. Other than that, all good. Nibbler needs tyres. He's got plenty of grip and he's got plenty of tread, but it's the age of them. Bridgestone battle axes. These are T30s. Well, that's, yeah, T30s. I do believe people are recommending the T31 now, which obviously is the one that's replacing it. I've not washed him yet. Naughty. Jobs to do on Nibbler? Yeah, total strip down and rebuild and restoration. Nope, that's never going to happen, not for me at least. The plans are, I don't really need a bike this big. I really don't. I don't do the mega miles I used to. It would be nice to take him up to Scotland, but I don't know. Maybe I might give him another year and see what's what, because the amount of work I've put into him, it might be worth it. Oh yeah, forks. Oh, I love forks. I don't mind doing forks actually. It's just that Nibbler's a pain in the arse. Yes, both sets of seals have gone again, except I don't think it is the seals. I think the bushings need replacing as well. If your fork bushings and stuff are in good order, you don't get any play in the fork. You don't get, if that's the stanchion and that's the tube, the two can do that together. They rock, and obviously when they rock, they come away from the seal and they leak. So the seals might actually be alright, but the bushings need doing. The GPZ 900 I had, which is, it's pretty much the same fork, you know, near enough as want. I mean, all ZX10 is an updated ZX9R with an alley frame, really. I had to replace the bushes on that because I was literally doing fork seals on that probably every month. And in the end I just thought, do the bushes, and they didn't go again. So that's the plan for Nibbler, is do the bushes, do something about a front mudguard, because even though it's legal to ride like that, it bugs me. it bugs other people more, which is great. But yeah, the oil line, I think I might end up just putting in a little loop on the sump, I think, and just getting rid of the oil cooler. We shall see. We shall see. It might be alright, but what I might do is, this is the original piece of hardline I used from Kawasaki. And what I'll probably end up doing is getting another one of these fittings from Merlin Motorsports, because they're very, very heavily barbed. You don't actually need to crimp the pipe. You do there, because that line there that you probably can't see, that line there is where the original excuse me, my voice went, is where the original Kawasaki oil line crimps on, and it crimps on and goes into that groove there, so it should never ever pop off. That's just got a crimp fitting on it at the minute. So I think what I might be doing is just get another one of these and just make up a full length oil line, and it will sit better. This sits really close to the belly pan, so whether it had been rubbing against the belly pan and the belly pan as it shaked and moved was just moving the line, I don't know. So anyway, that's your update. Yes, sort of not. Oh, look at Pinky, look, basking in the sun. Brilliant fun to ride that bike, that little 400. So much fun, so capable. And it just proves you don't need 1400 cc's, you don't need 1000 cc's to have fun on a bike. I mean, look at Phyllis, who's over there trying not to get shagged by Nibbler. 125, it's some of the best fun I've ever had. And the only reason I'm considering something like a maxi scoot is because it's as comfortable as the old Goldwing, it's as practical as the old Goldwing, but it's not as heavy as the old Goldwing. And to be honest, that's all I'm after, is something to just get on and ride. And I don't care what other people think. I really don't. You're here. The earlier that you learn that you're here to amuse yourself and nobody else, it's better. You know, I've bought bikes years back, and I only swapped them because I thought the one I had at the time was too old, and I weren't showy enough or anything like that. So I've done that. Been there, done that. Now it doesn't bother me. Really doesn't bother me. I mean, if somebody bought to me now a working AN 400 that I could do up a bit or something like that, and says, can I have one of your bikes in exchange, it'd be a yes. So that's the plan, but you know me, it might go completely opposite the other way. Might win the lottery tonight, and then that'll be Nibbler will be restored. I'll have an NR 750, etc, etc. Anyway, so there's Pinkus. So yeah, really the big job, waiting on tyres. I ran it up to temp a couple of times the other day, and the cooling fan is coming on as it should. It's not overheating, and then it's the first basic heat cycles I've put through the engine since rebuilding it. So I've had to nip up a couple of bolts and stuff like that. Just go over all the engine bolts. I can get out doing the finger thing. Just nip them up. Because all the gaskets have got to come around and shit like that. You know, a lot of gaskets actually won't seal until the bike's been run, or they won't seal properly. Nibbler was the same. He had a little oil leak when we put the sump on and all that lot, and it's running up to temp a few times and it's sealed itself. So nice. As the metal expands, etc., they seal. But yeah, don't she look good? I'm really, really happy with it. I'm also completely stumped as to why it didn't start and then all of a sudden starts. You know, I checked can timing God knows how many times. I bench set the carburetors. It must have been 3-4 times. I had the carburetors apart again. Made sure I cleaned all the bits out and all this lot. But she will actually start off choke now. Just a tiny little bit of throttle and she just starts and she'll carry on running. Which is good. It's actually starting better now than it ever did that I've known it. Because when she's been laid up, or he, I think Pinky was a he, it's always been a right git to get started. I mean, a proper git. It would sit there and spin and spin and spin and spin and spin and spin and spin. But, you know, we've replaced the fuel filter, the fuel pump's okay, and all that lot. And it's starting well now, so fingers crossed. So when it's got tyres on it, it can go for an MOT. And then be delivered back to the good lady who's itching to ride it. Because it's been over a year that it's been in bits. Because the money's not been there, basically. It's as simple as that. I mean, there are people that can rebuild bikes on a zero budget, but I'm not one of them. I mean, especially when you've got to buy all, you know, engine gaskets and stuff like that. We thought we were going to have to buy a chain of sprockets, but I managed to clean the old stuff up, and the old stuff was actually in really, really good condition. So, you know, if you're a few hours pissing around, or say a few hours, about a week pissing around with the degreaser and letting it soak, and we got it back to as new, hand manoeuvres, as new condition. But yeah, the tank's got to come off. I think the airbox has got to come off again, so I can get to the throttle adjust, and just to give us a bit more free play, because at the minute it's a bit of a hair trigger throttle. It's alright, I can cope with it fine, but I'd like a little bit more. And then other than that, when it's got about another 500-600 miles on it, we'll chuck the oil and filter, have a look at that, have a look at the oil that comes out, and see if everything's bedded in nice. Because all the valves went back where they should, you know, the same positions, the piston and rings and all that lot went back in the same positions. So hopefully it'll all be good. The engine won't need to bed back in again, but it's always a good idea after a rebuild just to take it easy. So yes, that's it. So yes, now Nibbler's back in the middle of the shed. Crap camera work today, Jim, I know, but I'm on nights and I can't be arsed. So yeah, so that's where we're at the moment.